Welcome back, everybody. This is Brian Kirk with Eat to My Own Beat, taking the road less traveled, with another episode of Religion and Language. This week we are doing episode number 10, and it is on Austria. So the religion in Austria is predominantly Christianity. At a 2001 census, 73.6% of the country's population was Catholic. As of 2018, the number of Catholics has dropped to 56.9% of the population, according to data provided by the Australian Catholic Church itself. There is a much smaller group of evangelicals, totaling around 4.7% of the population in 2001, shrunk to 3.3% of the population in 2018. Since 2001, these two historically dominant religious groups in Austria recorded losses in the number of adherents. The Catholic Church reported an absolute drop of 15.7%. The Evangelical Lutheran and Evangelical Reformed churches 1.3%, and in relative numbers, the losses of the smaller evangelical. In relative numbers, the losses of the smaller evangelical churches account for 33.7%, compared to the Catholic losses, which account for 21.9% since their maximum in 1971. In contrast, due to immigration, the number of Muslims in Austria has increased in recent years, with 4.2% of the population calling themselves Muslim in 2001, up to around 5 to 6.2% in 2010 and 7.9% in 2016, represented especially by immigrants from Turkey and the Balkans, such as Bosnia, Kosovo, North Macedonia, South Bulgaria, Western Thrace. Pentecostalism churches also have an important growth thanks to immigration from sub-Saharan Africa, Ghana, Kenya, Zambia, Nigeria, and Congo. Eastern Orthodox churches have also grown rapidly, up to 8.8% of the population in recent years, mainly due to immigration of Serbs from the former Yugoslavia, Serbia, Bosnia, Herzegovina, and Croatia, and of course Romanians. There are also minor communities of Hindus, Sikhs, Buddhists, and Jews, and other religions in Austria. The Protestant Reformation spread from northern Germany to Austria by the Council of Trent in 1545. Almost half of the Austrian population had converted to Lutheranism, which was a minority also endorsed by Calvinism. Eastern Austria was more affected by the phenomenon than Western Austria. After 1545, Austria was re-Catholicized in the Counter-Reformation. The Habsburgs imposed strict regime to restore the influence of the Catholic Church among Austrians, and their campaign proved successful. The Habsburgs were, for a long time, viewed themselves as the vanguard of Catholicism, while the other Catholic Christians, confessions, and religions were repressed. In 1775, Maria Theresa gave an official permission to the Mechatrist congregation of the Armenian Catholic Church to settle the Habsburg Empire. In 1781, in the era of Austrian Enlightenment, Emperor Joseph II issued a patent of tolerance for Austria that allowed other confessions a limited freedom of worships. Religious freedom was declared a constitutional right in Cisleithania after two Austrian-Hungarian Österreich in 1867, thus paying tribute to the fact that the monarchy was home to numerous religions besides Catholicism, such as Greek, Serbian, Romanian, Russian, Bulgarian Orthodox Christians. Austria neighboring both the Ottoman Empire for centuries, both Calvinist and the Lutheran Protestants and Jews. In 1912, after the annexation of Bosnia and Herzegovina in 1908, Islam was officially recognized in Austria. The Austrian Jewish community of 1938, Vienna alone counted more than 200,000, reduced to about 4,500 during the Second World War, with about 6,500 Jewish Austrians killed in Holocaust and 130,000 immigrating. The largest majority of current Jewish population after post-war immigration, particularly from Eastern Europe and Central Asia, including Balkan Jews. Buddhism was legally recognized as a religion in Austria in 1983. Austria was greatly affected by the Protestant Reformation, to a point where a significant part of the population became Protestant. Lutheranism was also a successful Protestant confession. That was the case among other German-speaking populations across the Holy Roman Empire, and Austria was indeed one of them. Calvinism did not receive as much support. The prominent position of the Habsburgs in the Counter-Reformation, however, saw Protestant all but wiped out at the beginning of 1545, restoring Catholicism as the dominant religion once more. The significant Jewish population, around 200,000 in 1938, mainly residing in Vienna, was reduced to just a couple thousand mass emigration in 1938. More than two-thirds of the Jewish population emigrated from 1938 until 1941, and the following Holocaust during the Nazi period. Immigration is more recent years, primarily from Turkey and the former Yugoslavia, has led to an increase of number of Muslims and Serbian Orthodox Christians. As in other European countries, there have been growth in pagan movements in Austria in recent years. Religions. Catholicism is the largest religion in Austria, representing 57.9% of the total population in 2017. The Catholic Church governing body in Austria is an Austrian Conference of Catholic bishops made up of hierarchy of the two archbishops, Vienna and Salzburg, the bishops and the abbot of territorial abbey of Wennington-Maro. Nevertheless, each bishop is independent in his own diocese, answering only to the Pope. The current president of the Conference of Catholic Bishops is Cardinal Christopher Schönborn, who belongs to the Central European noble family of Schönborn. Although the Austrian has no primate, the Archbishop of Salzburg is titled Primus Germaniae, Primate of Germany. Orthodox Christianity. Eastern Orthodox and Oriental Orthodox churches grew over the last decade due to the coming of South Slavic immigrants from the Balkans to Austria. The largest group of Eastern Orthodox in Austria are Serbs. The Vienna Institute of Demography and the Austrian Academy of Sciences estimates that there were 397,219 Eastern Orthodox Christians in Austria in 2016, representing 4.6% of the population. Protestantism. Protestant Reformation spread from northern Germany to Austria by the Council of Trent in 1545. Almost half of the Austrian population had converted to Lutheranism. While a much smaller minority also endorsed Calvinism, Eastern Austria was more than affected by the phenomenon that Western Austria. After 1545, Austria was re-Catholicized in the Counter-Reformation. The Habsburgs imposed a strict regime to restore the influence of the Catholic Church among Austrians, and their campaign proved successfully. The Habsburgs, for a long time, viewed themselves in the vanguard of Catholicism, with all other Christian confessions and religions were suppressed. Protestants reached a peak percentage of 6.2% by 1951, for the first time in Austrian history since the success of the Counter-Reformation. Currently, it claims around 3.5% of the population. Austrian Protestants are overwhelmingly Lutheran, 3.4%, and a small Reformed community of 0.1%. New arriving Protestant churches are always growing in membership, especially the evangelical Protestants and Pentecostals. A study from the Vienna Institute of Demography of the Austrian Academy of Sciences found that there was an estimated 412,423 Protestants of all types in Austria in 2016. Lutheranism. The Lutheran Evangelical Church of Augsburg Confession in Austria has about 300,000 members. The Calvinism. The Reformed Church in Austria, a Calvinist body, has roughly 13,590 members. Islam. Due to immigration, especially from the Balkans and Turkey, the number of Muslims in Austria has grown exponentially over the last few decades, with an estimated number of Muslims 686,599, or 7.9% of the population as of 2016, up from 4.2% in 2001. Buddhism. Buddhism is legally recognized in religion in Austria and is followed by thousands of people. Although it is still small in absolute numbers, 10,402 in the 2001 census, Buddhism enjoys widespread acceptance in Austria. A majority of Buddhists in this country are Austrian nationals, some of them naturalized after immigration from Asia, predominantly from China and Vietnam, while a considerable number of them are foreign nationals. As in most European countries, different branches and schools of Buddhism were represented by groups of varying sizes. Vienna not only has the largest number of foreign residents, but is also the place with the longest tradition of Buddhism in the country. Most of Austria's Buddhist temples and centers of practice can be found here. Some of them with specific Chinese, Vietnamese, Tibetan, or Japanese appearance. The latest development has been established of a Buddhist cemetery around a stupa-like building for funeral ceremonies, the Vienna Central Cemetery. Hinduism. Hinduism is a minority religion in Austria, and according to a 2001 census, it was a religion of 3,629 people. Since 1998, the Hindu community of Austria, the official representative of Hindus in Austria, has been able to call itself an official registered confessional community, yet does not enjoy full legal recognition from the state. Paganism. Austria has seen a growth of pagan movements in the recent years, especially Druidic, but also German heathen, Wiccan, and witchcraft groups. As of 2010, Austrian motorway authorities have been hiring Druids for geomanic works intended to reduce the number of accidents on the worst stretches of Austrian speedways. Celtic neo-paganism and neo-Druids have particularly popular in Austria. By virtue of Austria being the location of Proto-Celtic Halst culture, the Keltendorf in Diek's Canton combines archaeological reconstructions with European geomancy. The European Keltstein Yimschleim has been active since 1998. So that is the religions of Austria. Languages in Austria. The languages of Austria include German, the official language in lingua franca, Austrian Bavarian, the main dialect outside Wohlerberg, Alemannic, the main dialect in Vorarlberg, and several minority languages. Standard German. German is the national official language and constitutes a lingua franca and a de facto first language. Most Austrians, other than the mostly rural seniors, are able to speak it. It is a language used in media, in schools, formal announcements. The variety of German used Austrian German is more partially influenced by Austral Bavarian. Alemannic. Alemannic is spoken in Vorarlberg. Wohlerberg uses a high Alemannic, the same dialect group as that spoken in northern Switzerland, outside Basel, and parts of southern France, southern Alsace, France. To most Germans and Austrians outside Wohlerberg, it is very difficult to understand, as it is more similar to Swiss German, with many grammatical and pronunciation differences. Austral Bavarian. The main native language of Austria outside Wohlerberg is Austro Bavarian, whose many regionally different dialects are spoken. The northeastern parts of Austria, with the capital Vienna, speak Central Austro-Bavarian dialects, and the southern parts, Southern Austro-Bavarian dialects. Austro-Bavarian differs greatly from Standard German, making it very difficult for German speakers of different regions to understand the native population. Austro-Bavarian has no official orthography, but there are literary efforts, especially in poems, to depict the sound of the pronunciation and the spelling. Other words can be heard while visiting particular regions of Austria and Bavaria, and that only are rarely used in Standard German, including Grasgod, literally meaning Greek God, great God, and service or service, at your service, as creating greeting phrases, or denoted by strictly a dialect like plaft die or plaft ek or uk, literally watch over you God, may God watch over you, with the meaning of goodbye. Minority languages. Turkish is the largest minority language in the situation mirroring that of Germany, spoken by 2.3% of the population. Serbian is the second largest minority language, with usage of 2.2% of the population. Burgenland Croatian. Burgenland Croatian, an official language of Burgenland, is spoken by 2.5% of Austrians, and Burgenland Croats are recognized as a minority and have enjoyed special rights following the Austrian State Treaty. Hungarian. While little spoken today, Hungarian has traditionally held an important position in Austria due to the historical ties between the two countries. Today, Hungarian is spoken by around 1,000 people in Burgenland. Slovene. Slovene is an official language of Carinthia. As of the census of 2001, Slovene is used by 12,686 Austrians as vernacular, and it is reported that Slovene can be spoken by 0.3% of Austrians. Carinthian Slovenes are recognized as minority and have enjoyed special rights and affirmative action following the Austrian State-led Treaty, or Staatsvertrag, of 1955. So those are the languages and religions of Austria. So that's it for today's episode. If you like these episodes, please like and subscribe, comment, and ring that bell so you get notified every time we have a new video out. And until next time, keep eating at your own beat, take the road less traveled, and have a great day.